all that fun stuff.
So sometimes that can be done right away, right after their 10 days. Then they can, sometimes the official will be out there that day and they're released. Sometimes it takes a lot longer because, again, you're dealing with, like, officials and how that works. So I was on, I had my name on Thomas, and I was like, okay, I'm ready to pull him. Like, I want to, get him out of the shelter. So when I was in Italy, I got the call, okay, they've released him from quarantine. And I'm like, okay, I want him. And then they're like, well, you have to do an indemnity waiver, which is an additional waiver to the waiver that you already signed to get a dog out of the shelter. Like, there's a master contract.
Yeah.
And then what they do is, just throw a monkey wrench in it for this indemnity waiver, which is an additional waiver that says, I promise no matter what happens, anything in the future, if Thomas ever does anything, that in no way is the county responsible for anything that Thomas does or I do with like for the life of Thomas, right? Okay, fine. So then you have to get that approved through the main office, and so it turns into a whole thing. So I'm staying up.
So is this an LA City County thing? Because I don't have to deal with this, luckily. So I don't. Right. I don't know the.
And
this is new to me.
Ventura might have something like that. It's maybe something you guys don't necessarily deal with a lot, but I know a lot of the different shelters, they have like the additional waiver.
Yeah.
So you have a master contract as a rescue, but they have an additional waiver that you sign after that.
Okay.
So I know some of the county and city. I know I've done it with both LA County and city. So
only because I've taken dogs with bite records, so I've never had to sign an additional. I know if it's been a severe case that they ask that the dog be outside of the jurisdiction of the county.
Okay.
They've asked that before, but we've never pulled those animals ourselves. So, but I know other rescues that have.
Right, and so there might be something like that they, like, if they say they want it outside of Ventura County.
Yeah.
Or if there might be a different record of some sort that they require. So for 2 months, it was calls, emails. I need to get this boy out of the shelter because he's already had a situation where, like, there was a provoked bite. I want him out of the shelter so there's no chance of anything like that happening again for this dude.
So it took you 2 months to do this?
Yes.
So this dog sat in the shelter for 2 months?
In the shelter. And now you've got a 14-year-old golden retriever that's sitting in a shelter. There was reports that there was blood in his stool. Obviously, he's 14 years old. There's pain. There's different pain things that are associated just with age. So, so this week, finally, it was one happy day. When I got the call, I was like, I'll be right there. Let me go get him. I pulled him out. We went to the vet, and it turns out he's got something, arthritis, which is typical. But we did a full senior run. And so, he's got Giardia, very common in shelter dogs.
Stool.
Yes.
It's the first thought I thought,
exactly.
And I was like, okay, Giardia.
Yeah. So we're treating him for that. And then he has thyroid. So he's got some thyroid medication, but that explains the skin condition. But these are all things that a shelter, under their protocol and under their rules, would look at a dog, 14 years old, he's got medical conditions, and now he has a bite. Then there's no way he would have made it out of the shelter.
Very true.
So, and that's just a reality. They deal with mass numbers, and I'm saying, please, I need this boy in my life. Let me pull him out of the shelter. And then it still takes, even though we were actively working on it every day, it still took us 2 months to get him out.
Wow.
So, and now he's such a happy boy. Like, we brushed him all out. We got rid of all the mats, all the poop, everything that was like on him. The fleas are gone. We got him on pain meds for, the arthritic rear end. He's on his thyroid medication now. So he's already you could see that he's already feeling better with that. And of course he had major ear infection, stuff like that. So he did have medical. So he was sitting there in 2 months with a medical condition, with medical conditions, and then
so maybe that's why he bit too. Maybe he wasn't feeling well.
Right?
Maybe his ears hurt.
Yeah.
Maybe something bothered him. Maybe the kid poked his ears.
It's hard to say, but I can tell you that this guy is the happiest and the sweetest boy already. We've had him for a week, a little less than a week, but we've already gotten him vet care, and it's just for me, it's thrilling that it's like, okay, when you work so hard for 2 months.
Yeah.
And to be honest, at his age, I was concerned if he was going to make it out of the shelter. If one morning they would call and say, sorry, he
just passed.
Because a lot of times they get depressed.
Yeah, they give up.
Yeah. And now to see him, he loves going on walks, and he's got the big smile, and he's so happy, and he has his little pounce.
He'll be easy to place then.
Yeah, so he is 14 years old, but he is much, much happier. So I will be looking, because we look for the senior dogs for a place for him. So he's doing good. So you were telling me
about Love.
About Love.
Love.
Yeah.
Yes. So I got a call earlier in the week. Crazy thing. So another rescue we work with. Family, friend, family.
Somebody knows somebody.
Somebody knows somebody.
Was married to their
this little 4-month-old Maltese thing. I don't know.
Multi-poo, multi-something,
looks semi-purebred, semi-not. I don't know, but very, very small, very sweet, 4 months old. Get a call from the rescue saying, the story is, the dog chewed a tag off a toy and now has a bowel obstruction.
Oh, okay.
The people cannot afford the surgery. Will you help? And we're like, okay. Every time we do, the good deed, it always slaps you in the face.
Well,
so
it's always difficult because if you're paying,
yes.
you want to be in control of the situation.
Exactly. So our solution was, we can't. We'll take the animal, but you're going to have to owner surrender it. And these people didn't want the animal. They didn't want it.
Okay.
I mean, there was no can you help us? It was just like, we just want to get rid of it now.
Right.
So we're like, okay.
And if that dog would have ended up in the shelter,
it would have been euthanized.
It would have been euthanized, even though it's a puppy. It would have been euthanized due to medical.
Yeah. So, and I know I only have a few seconds, and I won't get finished with the story, but basically, it's day 5 now of the supposed bowel obstruction, and the dog is now paralyzed. So we're like, what? Hold on.
There's something missing in this story.
Exactly, and that's the missing part, which we'll come back to after commercial break. You're listening to Rescue Radio on CRN Digital Talk.
When you really want Italian food, you've got to go to Columbo's. Columbo's Italian Steakhouse and Jazz Club, Colorado Boulevard, Eagle Rock. It's that little neighborhood place you wish was down the street from you. Good afternoon, Mr. Phelps. Southern California is inundated with restaurants vying to vanquish Columbo's, and none have succeeded. Your mission, Jim, is to further enlighten the populace regarding Columbo's and their absolutely delicious steaks. Seafood so fresh it'll make you blush. Family Italian specialties that put the competition to shame. Jazz every night along with their world-renowned meatballs. The code words for this assignment, Mission Impossible. As always, should you or any of the force be caught, the Secretary will disavow any knowledge of your actions, but looks forward to seeing you at that little neighborhood place you wish was down the street from you. Columbo's. This disc will self-destruct in 5 seconds. Good luck, Jim, and manja.
CRN travelers, relax at the beautiful Fountain Grove Inn and Conference Center in Santa Rosa, California. Come to quality and come to luxury. Experience the newly renovated guest rooms. They're generously sized and they're decorated in the Tuscan tradition. They have great, incredible pillow-top mattresses, luxurious linens, and down-filled comforters. The Fountain Grove Inn also offers complimentary Wi-Fi and internet access. There's warm cookies and coffee every evening in the hotel lobby, and you can visit the newly remodeled Equus Restaurant and Equus Lounge with its new wine bar. It's the ideal place to relax and enjoy a glass of wine, and watch our What's Cookin' on Wine show on CRN with host Larry Van Alst on Wednesdays. It's the Fountain Grove Inn, Hotel, and Conference Center located in the heart of Sonoma wine country. It's easily located in Santa Rosa off the 101 Fountain Grove Parkway exit. Call 707-578-6101. That's 707-578-6101 or visit fountaingroveinns.com. Are you looking to increase the number of calls you receive at your business? Well, CRN Talk is introducing a new way for customers to reach you without having to remember your phone number or your website address. Customers simply dial pound 250 from their mobile phones and say your business name. That's it. They'll be directed immediately to your phone line and receive a text message with a link to your website and phone number. It's that easy. It works so well that we're using it in this commercial. To sign up, dial pound 250 and say get my keyword. That's pound 250 and say get my keyword.
Hi, this is Fred Dreyer. Join me and Michael Horn on the PM show Wednesdays at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern, here on CRN Digital Talk. We talk about things in the sports world nobody else does. So listen in to me and Mike at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern, right here on CRN Digital Talk. And go to crntalk.com for more information on other show times. And don't forget to take us with you by downloading the CRN app on the App Store.
Welcome back to Rescue Radio on CRN Digital Talk. I'm a little slow today.
We both are. It's been a long week. So I'll quickly finish my story. But basically, got the dog. It is now 5 days in, and it suddenly became paralyzed from a supposed bowel obstruction. Take it immediately to our vet. The vet, does what he needs to do, x-rays, all that kind of stuff, and is like, there's no bowel obstruction.
There's nothing in there.
And at the same time, anytime you go near this dog, not because it's in pain, but it flinches and it screams bloody murder. Like
a 4-month-old puppy.
A 4-month-old puppy.
Tiny puppy, too.
Yes.
I mean, it's horrible with even big puppies, but...
So we have this little 4-month-old screaming anytime you go near her. She's not using her rear legs at all. And we're about a week, 5 days into it now. She's 100% better with touch now. She's actually loving people and very, very affectionate. Still not walking. The vet does believe that there was some form of trauma because when we got her under her underbelly, it was sensitive. So it's definitely in their
kicked or shut in a door or something.
They can't prove it. Nobody can prove this, but it definitely seems to be some form of trauma, like dropping or kicking,
some
like
abuse.
That. For a 4-month-old. And I can only imagine, 4 months, what do 4 months do? They chew on things, they poop and pee in places they shouldn't. So
puppies are a lot of work, and I think that's the one thing that people don't really understand. It's like, they are a lot of work.
Oh, they're cute and
cuddly. It
cuddly.
never excuses abuse, of course, but there is. You're potty training, and you've got to deal with, like, a lot of times they have different parasites, and so you have to treat them, and they eat your favorite pairs of shoes.
Well, puppies are exhausting. It's every 2 to 3 hours that you're taking them out, if not sooner, to go to the bathroom. 30 minutes after they eat or drink, they need to go to the bathroom.
Right.
It's that quick, and they need to be socialized, but then you have to wait till they're 4 months old, so they have their last set of vaccines before you should take them out in public. So it's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work for puppies, and
people don't realize it.
And I think that's one of the big things. And so I know that we had posted on Facebook what we were going to talk about this week was it has exactly to do with this, puppies and kittens that come into the shelter. So one of the things I think that most people or the average person doesn't understand that is if they surrender a mom and pups or a pregnant mom that's going to be giving birth any day or kittens, what happens as far as shelter protocol. So I think that's like a key issue that I want to bring to people and let them realize what it is.
Because people think it's easy to adopt cute
They're like,
puppies.
Oh, the puppies are cute.
They'll be fine. They're puppies.
Exactly.
Well,
so there's a number of things that can happen with that. And so I know in my experience, and I'm sure you guys have, well, I know you guys have too, because I've ended up with some of them. But so what happens is if they come into the shelter, I want people to understand that moms get very protective. It's instinctual for them to be protective of their puppies. So it's scary when you just take an adult dog and turn them into the shelter. But if you take a mama and turn her into the shelter with puppies, it's instinctual for her to protect her puppies.
Yes.
So, and then...
So it's not uncommon for them to get bite records and, have to be quarantined away from everybody.
And also shelters, they don't have a spot to keep those puppies disease-free.
Yes.
So they don't have like a space for the mom and puppies because they are so much work when you have a mama and puppies First 2 weeks are easier. After that, it starts getting a little bit harder.
But if you're like me, I mean, I know I've walked into plenty of shelters where you see less than 4 months, and you see them running around with mom in general population with all the other dogs. I mean, they have their own kennel, but
yes,
it's very difficult to keep disease out of those type of situations.
Because you have so many dogs coming in.
Yes.
And so it's like the things that we generally expect when we get a dog out of the shelter. I mean, we deworm the dog as soon as we take the dog out of the shelter. I mean,
Flea
it's one of
treatment.
those things. It's like, okay, so they get flea treatment, they get dewormed. I mean, we've got their shot records.
Yeah.
So from the shelter, but so they get their shots in the shelter, but upon intake, it's like, okay, you've got a dewormer and you get flea treatment. Those are two things like before you get into our vehicles.
And you're like us, where we quarantine for 5 or 6 days before they even, because you have to see they might break with kennel cough or upper respiratory or something else.
Right.
Even if they're a puppy, parvo. People don't realize.
Puppies are very difficult. So I want to go into like shelter protocol and what they do if they don't have a foster or rescue to pull them out of the shelter. And I just want to bring the reality of that to people and what happens with these puppies.
And basically that they're not safe.
Right.
And they're not that easy.
Just because they're cute doesn't mean that they're gonna be safe and they're not gonna be euthanized.
Exactly. And we'll do that right after we get back from commercial break. You're listening to Rescue Radio on CRN Digital Talk.
What are you going to do with your old car? You can try selling it, you could junk it, or you could donate it to Heritage for the Blind. Your car will be towed away for free, and your donation is tax deductible. Just call 1-800-785-9618. Heritage for the Blind accepts cars, vans, trucks, and boats. It doesn't matter if your vehicle runs or not. It will be towed away for free, and you'll be supporting those that need help. Heritage for the Blind is a nonprofit organization that helps the visually impaired live fuller lives. Call right now to donate your car, and as a special thank you for calling, you'll receive a free 3-day vacation voucher to many exciting locations. Call Heritage for the Blind right now, 1-800-785-9618. Donating is easy, and your vehicle is towed away for free. Plus, you'll get a free vacation voucher. Call now, 1-800-785-9618. That's 1-800-785-9618.
Do you have really pure water? Maybe not if you're drinking bottled water. Bottled water has some dirty little secrets. Plastic bottles come from oil products. The 5-gallon polycarbonate jugs contain bisphenol A, a synthetic estrogen that has raised health concerns. Bottled water dispensers quickly develop algae and bacteria and should be sanitized regularly. Have you ever cleaned your water dispenser? Are you drinking water containing algae and bacteria and synthetic estrogen? Now the good news. Pure Water Science can replace that dirty, outdated bottled water cooler with a high-tech water purification system. The Pure Water Science system features a stainless steel tank that constantly monitors water quality to guarantee your water is pure. It alerts you when service or filter changes are needed. Multi-stage purification removes organic and inorganic contaminants, and the patented self-sanitizing feature eliminates algae and bacteria while adding oxygen to your water. It costs less than bottled water without the bottled water hassle. No more bottles to lift. Just sanitized delicious water, hot or cold, from Pure Water Science. Call 818-502-4191. 818-502-4191.
Hi, I'm Joan London, and if you're worried about your parent or a loved one living alone like I was, and you want reliable senior care information, then call A Place for Mom, the nation's largest senior living referral service. You'll get free information on assisted living, Alzheimer's care, nursing homes, even important financial information.
They had obviously researched every place, not just given me names. Mm-hmm. They found me a place for what she could afford, and it was magnificent.
We're now very confident that she's safe, and they just helped every step of the way, and I can't thank them enough.
So if you're struggling to find reliable senior living information, call A Place for Mom. This is a free service, and you can trust them to help you.
If you're struggling to find reliable senior living information for your mom or dad, then call or go online to get the free help you need during this turbulent time. Call now, 800-471-5173, 800-471-5173.
I am a non-attorney spokesperson. Attention men who've taken Androgel or any other testosterone therapy products. Androgel or other low-T products have been linked to heart attack, stroke, pulmonary embolism, deep vein thrombosis, even death. Scientific studies indicate that the use of testosterone therapy products may double a man's risk of heart attack. If you or a loved one took Androgel or a testosterone therapy product and suffered from a heart attack, stroke, pulmonary embolism, deep vein thrombosis, or any other cardiac event, you might be entitled to financial compensation. You have rights, and you need to let us fight for your rights. And you pay no fees unless we win. So call the tort attorneys right now. 800-557-7921. 800-557-7921. That's 800-557-7921. Cases may be referred to participating law firms in your jurisdiction.
Welcome back to Rescue Radio on CRN Digital Talk. So we were talking about puppies and protocol. So I brought little Gilbert with me here today.
You got to show Gilbert. He's adorable.
I know. So if you guys are watching us online on CRN Talk.
And if not, maybe we can get a steal and put it on.
Look at him. Look at little Gilbert. So he's sleepy. Look at him. Hi, Gilbert. So, yes, he is adorable. So I want to point out to people that in a shelter situation, they turn in a mom, and that mom very often, and definitely with the bully breeds, I see this a lot because they're bigger. Very often the mom, due to aggressive behavior, is euthanized. And what happens then is those puppies, either a foster has to come in and bottle feed those puppies, or the puppies also are euthanized. And it also happens with cats and kittens. If you have bottle feeder kittens, I think that there are people out there that think they're doing what's right when they catch the kittens and they take the kittens away from the mom.
Leave them.
Yes. So they think they're doing what's right.
Yes.
Because, you've got like 5-day-old kittens and they take them away from the mom. And what I would suggest to those people is, I know that you're trying to do what's right, but let the mom feed them and trap them when they're a little bit older.
Well, yeah, because it helps them with their natural immunity, too, because the moment, I can't, and I know you can't either, I can't count how many kittens have come in, and within a day or so, they start having an upper respiratory, and they...
Kittens always, and their systems are so fragile.
Yes, so you give them the stress of taking them away from their mom. Mm-hmm. They're no longer getting the natural immunity from the milk, and they're not calm with mom, and just leave. You're right. People think they're doing the right thing, and I get it. I get the train of thought.
Right.
But you're actually harming them, and you're potentially killing them.
Exactly. I mean, because you see them, they pick them up, they take them into the shelter, and now you've got these bottle feeders that come into the shelter. And if the shelter cannot get a foster or a rescue group to bottle feed those kittens, it's protocol. By end of day that day, those puppies or kittens are euthanized. And when you think about it realistically, if they can't get them out and they know they can't take care of them,
well, it's unfair because then they starve to death. Because it takes, especially if you take them away from the mom and they're bottle feeding, it's every 2 hours.
And trust me, it's crazy. I've lost so many nights sleep. I have bottle feeders right now.
But it's every 2 hours. But how long does it take you to bottle feed them if you have a litter?
Oh yeah,
it takes an hour. So then
I've had it to where I'm like, didn't I just feed you guys? Like, why are you crying again?
So yeah, it takes an hour to feed all of them, but then it's a 2 hour increment. So basically, you get a break for about an hour.
Right, and that goes on. I mean, that's definitely the first 4 weeks.
Yeah.
So that's a huge commitment, and I think what I would suggest to people is, and I'm open. If you have a situation like that, let me know. I will help you. I will make sure that mom gets fed. I'll provide food for even if it's a feral mom. Make sure she has food so she's taking care of her kittens. And once they are old enough, once they are older, I will help trap the mom and the kittens. And so you won't have that issue. And so I'm throwing that out there. I know there's lots of other rescue groups that'll do the exact same thing.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
But to bring in kittens without the mom makes it stress. I mean, the stress that puts on the rescue groups, if they are able to pull them, Or even the shelter staff that have to, I mean,
Oh,
they see these cute little kittens too and these cute little puppies. They don't want to euthanize them.
But see, that's the thing, is people do also believe that these shelter workers do want to euthanize them, that they just want to make their life easy. I mean, I've gotten plenty of phone calls and texts begging me to take these cats. Or, I mean, I don't have to do puppies as much because there's, you know, it's I don't know what it is, but it seems like there are so many more people that are willing to take puppies than kittens.
Yeah, well, puppies...
Or maybe because there's so many more kittens.
There's so many kittens. I mean, I think that's one of the big things is there's so many kittens. And kittens are wild. Usually puppies, they come in with a mom.
Yeah.
And you have the feral kittens. And kitten season this year hasn't stopped yet.
No, it's not. It's still like 100 degrees outside.
Yeah.
Of course, it's not going to stop.
So,
it'll probably go well into December.
And that's the thing, too, that people don't realize. When you take those kittens away from that mom, she still has all those hormones. She'll go into another heat. She'll get pregnant again.
Yeah.
Right after that. And then eventually you have kittens that are they're not even healthy. So even if, just because her body hasn't had time, had time to regenerate, so she's having kittens then that are not healthy kittens. So even if a rescuer gets those kittens, the chances of their survival and them being healthy is very slim.
Well, and the other thing is, if you find a cat with kittens, I mean, more than likely, if they're in an area, they're going to stay in that area. Cats are not, by nature, like dogs. They stick to an area.
Yeah.
That the radius might expand as the kittens get older, but they stay within where their food source is.
And the mom will keep them
and
there.
their safe home is.
So,
It's people think, oh no, we won't ever catch them. Well, that's not true. Just put some food out and put a trap out, and more than likely you'll catch all of them.
If she gets used to you putting food down there,
she'll come back.
Really, if we're talking about 3 or 4 weeks where you could just get her used to the food being supplied there. So put some, because she needs nutrients too. The mama does. So just put some wet food. Don't try touching the kittens. Don't try moving the kittens, because then there is a chance that she'll try to relocate for their safety. But just put food down there for her.
Yeah.
And just take that 3 weeks, that 4 weeks, and just make sure that they get those nutrients. And then we're happy to try to help trap them and secure. But bringing the kittens in when their eyes aren't open yet really puts a lot on any rescue group and the shelter.
Well, it's interesting because when I was on vacation, I went to Istanbul and Greece, and one thing they do there, just like I know when you're in Italy, is they have street animals. The way the system is there is they just leave the animals there. They did a really good job in Istanbul where they chipped them with their ears. Mm-hmm. They put a tag on them, and somebody in the government, whoever department that is, I didn't go into too much research, but basically once a year they come around, they scan that chip and make sure they're fully vaccinated, and then they spay and neuter them, and then they only really bring them inside when it's really cold or really bad weather. So could you imagine? Americans are so worried about the nuisance of a cat or something. I mean, there was probably hundreds of dogs and cats roaming about, and nobody could care.
Right.
It was no big deal.
Well, because the biggest thing is, as long as they're spayed and neutered, and, you don't want them getting hit by cars, but somehow they know.
They do.
They're, smart.
Well, they're street animals. They've learned.
They have a different instinct.
But also, I noticed that people will stop for them. They'll just let them get out of the way, and you move on with your life.
Yeah, it's kind of like if you see a deer, you don't...
But for some reason, us as Americans here in America, we see that.
Everything needs to be in a kennel.
Everything needs to be compartmentalized. Everything needs to be simple, clean, and neat. Right. And you know what? You're harming those cats or dogs.
Well, and that's the reason, feral cats, a lot of times, I'll spay and neuter, tip the ears, and re-release them. So.
Yep. Well, you're listening to Rescue Radio on CRN Digital Talk.
Let me take just a moment or two, if I may, and talk about a great place to eat. That's right, for you folks anywhere in the eastern San Fernando Valley, drop into Bob's Big Boys. That's right, in Sun Valley at 8274 Sunland Boulevard. Now, everybody remembers the name Bob's. They're getting bigger and bigger every day, and little old Bob carrying the hamburger in his checkered overalls is the same Bob that you remember from back through the years. And, of course, if you want to go in for a great lunch, remember their classic burger, the original double-deck hamburger combination. Delicious 100% pure ground beef in 2 patties with American cheese, lettuce, and our famous Big Boy special sauce. The name is Bob, and I think when you go in, You'll say, by golly, I'm sure glad that I found this restaurant because it's good for breakfast, lunch, or dinner. They've got all kinds of things, and all you have to do is remember Bob's Big Boy in Sun Valley at 8274 Sunland Boulevard. It's a great place to eat.
Are you nearing eligibility for Medicare benefits? Then you know now is an important time in your life. Medicare benefits can be a complicated puzzle. You don't want to overpay for your Medicare coverage or get the wrong plan. Let Health Markets Insurance Agency help you. With one free phone call, a licensed insurance agent will help you select a Medicare plan that's right for you and your budget. If you're becoming eligible for Medicare, call today and learn how to get the most out of your benefits.
800-793-1960. 800-793-1960.
Health Markets Insurance Agency is the DBA or assumed name of InSphere Insurance Solutions, Inc., which is an authorized insurance agency in all 50 states and the District of Columbia. Not all agents are licensed to sell all products. Service and product availability varies by state.
Call 800-793-1960. 800-793-1960. 800-793-1960. 800-793-1960.
Welcome back to Rescue Radio on CRN Digital Talk.
So we're sitting here, and I noticed, because we all have our phones in front of us.
Who doesn't these days?
Right? And I noticed that we have a comment on our Facebook post today that we did 2 hours ago about talking about the puppies and kittens.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just basically going to read it because, and I'm not going to say the name or anything, but I think this is the point that I don't think people always understand what we're saying or what shelters go through or what we go through as a rescue.
Right.
So I want to read it, and then I want you to comment, and I'll also, give my opinion, because I always do.
We all.
So the comment is, I think the shelters should realize the plight of the mother animals. I wish the shelters would contact a rescue when they have the mothers with young ones or are pregnant. The rescue should be subsidized by the shelters for taking these families, and proper care could be taken for the family. So I'll let you start with that.
Well, it's a very good point that's stated there. Now, the thing is that there's what happens in the reality, like in the real world, is two completely different things. And I think that's one of the main reasons we want to discuss this today on the show, is that the shelters have their protocol, and they'll reach out to PawWorks or Animal Foundation, and very often we will pull those animals if we can.
Yes.
Now, the county shelters and the city shelters, they're all limited on resources.
Well, beyond that, they're county and city shelters. So what people have to realize is they can't subsidize private organizations. And if they do, how do you choose that? I mean, come on.
How do you choose which one?
Yeah, how do you, yes, you could say, okay, well, anybody who pulls a mama dog or cat gets, $50, whatever it is. But how do you set that bar where, with inflation, it would just be a mess.
And how would you do it really? I mean, if you think about it, because mamas and puppies are expensive.
Yes.
And this is something I know for Animal Foundation. We focus a lot on these. We focus a lot with the moms and the pups. And we try to get the moms before she has the puppies so that we know they're in a clean environment and what they need. Now, very often they need medical care. The moms, when they come into the shelter, very often are undernourished. And so I know for me, I have protocol, like what I do with them. I give them puppy formula, actually. Like, I put moms on puppy formula.
And one thing I do want to say is sometimes the shelter will provide some of these things.
And they can, because things are donated to them.
Yes, because I will say, like for you, and I have done this as well, where we actually are considered a foster for the shelter. And we foster the puppies until they're ready to be pulled or they're of an age. Then we will have them spay and neutered and vaccinated through the shelter. Which is almost a subsidization.
Yeah, it's a discounted rate because we can still get them, we still get their shots.
Yes,
and we still get their spay and neuter,
and then we pull them as a rescue.
Right.
So there is some help.
Sometimes they provide some food, and so just depending on how it's pulled out, how they're pulled out of the shelter. Now, and there are some shelters that work better with rescues than others.
True.
I remember I asked a shelter for the pity mom, because there was a pity mom that came in with 10 puppies, and I asked them, can I take her? Like, I was like, can I take her? And they're like, no, she's too aggressive. They would not release her to me. So I had an option. They had already determined that they were going to put to sleep the mother. That was going to happen. She was confiscated. Now, this is the situation. She was confiscated from a house. She gave birth to the puppies, started giving birth to the puppies in the truck on the way to the shelter. She finished giving birth to the puppies once she was in the shelter. So this is a situation where she's terrified. She was just confiscated from her home, and she just had puppies. She doesn't know what's going on. So even if she wasn't a mama, dogs are scared when that happens, when they're confiscated from their home.
And we both know, being a pit, it's one strike against you, especially
automatically.
Here, in California and in many other states, it's just a strike against you.
There's DSL in many places, but
yes.
so she's got a problem even if she wasn't a mama. So then, of course, she's extra protective of her puppies. And so I had a situation. I got the call that said, and I said, can I take the mama too? Like, I will take that on as the rescue group. I'll take on the risk of the mom.
Yeah.
Because, I have gloves. It's like, okay, let me do everything I can because it's better for the puppies and for the mom. So I always try to take the mom too. And so they said, no, we've already, the mom's fate has already been determined, but we have till end of business today for the puppies. And I'm like, can you wait for the mom? And I was heartbroken about it because I said, can you please wait? Let the mom, it's better for the puppies to be with the mom for as long as possible. And they're like, well, she has to end of business today. And I was like, can you, because they had wanted to do it that morning. I said, please give her some more time with her puppies. And that gives me time to get out there. And then I've got, 10 puppies that I'm bottle feeding. So, and I had begged for, please let me take the mom, but the call had already been made on that. So I think that's one of the key things that people don't understand. Those puppies, all 10 of those puppies would have been euthanized also.
And I have to say about that too, because I hear that story, and I'm going to play devil's advocate, because I do agree. We in rescue go there and we beg for animals sometimes, and it's like, why do I have to beg? But at the same time, people have to realize that the county workers or the city workers, the shelter workers, go by guidelines.
They have protocol.
And they have protocol, and if they deviate from that, either they could lose their job or there are liability issues on them. And if that dog does go out there, I'm not saying it would have, because you're right, it probably was just scared. And it's unfortunate that we have to be so black and white in this, and that's something that has to be changed with the laws. And we're going to have to go to commercial break. But basically, they have these rules and they have these laws because they don't want the liability of it.
Right.
Being a county, because then you just sue the state or the city, and there we go.
Well,
but we'll get back to this. You're listening to Rescue Radio on CRN Digital Talk.
Experience a luxury boutique hotel escape in the heart of Laguna Beach, California, with the finest art gallery, shopping, dining, and nightlife just steps from your door. The heart of Laguna Beach, the edge of the sea. It's the Inn at Laguna Beach. Enjoy our comfortable rooms, blending the style of a timeless beach bungalow with the modern comforts of today. 70 newly appointed guest rooms and suites await you at the Inn at Laguna Beach. Then, relax at the rooftop bar, where you'll indulge in breathtaking views of the ocean. For dining, you'll find libations and local cuisine on the California coastline, including dining at the legendary Las Brisas, a Southern California landmark. The Inn at Laguna Beach, footsteps from room to village to sea, located in the heart of Laguna Beach. The Inn is within walking distance of all that Laguna Beach has to offer. No car required. The Inn at Laguna Beach, 211 North Coast Highway in Laguna Beach, California. Call 800-544-4479 or visit innatlagunabeach.com. Come to Angelo's and Vinci's Restaurante in Fullerton, California for our sizzling party savings. Book your wedding event or reception, your birthday bash, or a special event of any kind and celebrate at Angelo's and Vinci's. Come to Angelo's and Vinci's and celebrate in one of our many festive banquet rooms. It's an incredible fun event you'll never forget. Food, music, and lots of fun. Call for the details, and don't forget our daily lunch and dinners, plus our Sunday champagne brunch. Just $14.95. Minestrone soup, sausage and peppers, pastas, chicken dishes, salads, scones, and muffins. options. Plus so much more, a chocolate fondue fountain, Zeppelis, cannolis, fresh fruit, champagne, and Junior will be waiting to make the omelet of your choice from our omelet bar. Angelo's and Vinci's has been voted on the Orange County Hot List as one of the top 5 Italian restaurants for the past 6 years. And don't forget our award-winning pizzas. Thin or thick, they're yummy. It's all at Angelo's and Vinci's Restaurante at 550 North Harbor Boulevard in Fullerton, California. Call 714-879-4022, 714-879-4022.
What are you going to do with your old car? You can try selling it, you could junk it, or you could donate it to Heritage for the Blind. Your car will be towed away for free, and your donation is tax deductible. Just call 1-800-785-9618. Heritage for the Blind accepts cars, vans, trucks, and boats. It doesn't matter if your vehicle runs or not. It will be towed away for free, and you'll be supporting those that need help. Heritage for the Blind is a nonprofit organization that helps the visually impaired live fuller lives. Call right now to donate your car, and as a special thank you for calling, you'll receive a free 3-day vacation voucher to many exciting locations. Call Heritage for the Blind right now, 1-800-785-9618. Donating is easy, and your vehicle is towed away for free. Plus, you'll get a free vacation voucher. Call now, 1-800-785-9618. That's 1-800-785-9618.
No. Welcome back to Rescue Radio on CRN Digital Talk. So we only have a few minutes here, so I want to make sure that we kind of just
wrap it up
and make everything clear. So in an ideal world, there would be rescues out there that could take all these moms and pups, and they could all live.
No. In an ideal world, we would spay and neuter them, so we don't have all these moms and pups and kittens. That's the ideal world.
Right. So then you have the situation where some of the shelters, they do try to work with us, but even a rescue group, when we take on these moms and pups, it's a lot of work that we take on. Just one mom and set of pups. Because you've got keeping them clean, you've got feeding the mom, walking the mom, medications for the mom and for the pups.
But even beyond work, I mean, what people need to realize, for us, for our organization, because we don't do as many moms and pups, and we usually do them, once they're 6 or 8 weeks, once they've had their first set.
Right.
Because a lot of times we get them from you. And the reason we do that is because we currently don't have a way to section them off, to isolate them, because what if they do get parvo, which could be devastating to your whole project, to everything. So you have to be very, very careful. So it's difficult.
I mean, there's a lot that goes into moms and pups.
Yes.
So
you don't just bring them in your house and you love on them. It's not that.
And you know what? Really, I mean, I know a lot of people think that that's what rescue is.
Yeah.
Like we just get to sit there and love on the cute little pups all day. And trust me, I wish I had more time for that.
Yes.
Because, it's a lot of cleaning up poop and water and feeding and walking, and then you're like, okay, I've got all the essentials taken care of for this animal, and now I want some of the love, but then it's like, okay, well, I need some sleep too.
Yeah. Exactly.
That kind of thing. So so the listener, she has a very valid point.
Yes.
But I do know that rescues, just because Animal Foundation, I know that we do take in a lot of moms and pups, and what that entails. I mean, we then put the mom on formula, then we had the mom on puppy food, then we have to make sure the mom gets, clears up her diarrhea.
And how do you put a dollar amount on that? I mean, you between your time, your expenses, it would be a lot. And there's no way that a county or city shelter would do that.
They can't.
Budget-wise, I mean, most of them are over budget most of the time anyways. So now you want to subsidize. They would rather just euthanize.
Well, and the reality is, it's like, what other option? I mean, if a rescue group doesn't take them, what is really humane by that animal? Because they can't bottle feed. They can't make sure that those animals... I mean, look, the shelter, even as clean, the cleanest of shelters that you have out there...
They're still dirty.
They're still dirty, and they still have disease.
Exactly.
So, and that's why when we take them out, they're in ISO, and we have protocol, like we do the flea medication, and that's another thing. I mean, these puppies, the moms have fleas so bad, the puppies are covered in them.
Oh, yeah.
And you can't do flea control on a puppy. You have to...
Let we could talk about this forever, but let's wrap it up. We have about a minute and a half left.
So you've got a big event coming up, October 17th.
October 17th, I have a big Halloween party in Agora Hills. You can go online, paulworks.org, find out how to get the tickets. They're $25. Not a big amount. It's going to be a fun time. Our first year anniversary at our Paul Works store in Oaks. That's why we're doing it.
Okay, so then that's celebrate. So they could get information on your Facebook page, which is Paul Works.
Yep.
And let's see. So, and if you want to get any updates on all the puppies that I was talking about today, you can look on my Facebook page, which is Animal Foundation of America. And remember, I want to encourage everyone out there, if you have an unspayed or neutered puppy or cat out there, please spay and neuter. And if you need assistance with that, I would personally I would be more than willing to help you with that.
I think both of us would. I mean, that's the only way our jobs are going to get easier.
Exactly.
So have a great week. You're listening to Rescue Radio on CRN Digital Talk.
Channels, the radio channels, CRN.